Hi everybody, my name is Chris, and we're doing Spider-Man or Spidey, and we're gonna be mapping him out. We got long sheet of paper, we got a pencil, and we got the image we're gonna be using. I'm not gonna draw these other two people, these other two Spideys. I'm only gonna focus on this Spidey right here, and now we're gonna get into how to draw Spider-Man, my style. So what I usually like to do is I like to put my style right here. It's not a bad style. It's a good style to have. So we're gonna do is we're looking at this part. It's kind of like round, oval type of deal. So I like to hold my pencil this way. You don't have to. You can hold it this way. But I prefer my stuff like this. So let me see here. Let's map it out. We're looking at the size of the paper and where you want it. So I decided to make them right here. So I made it kind of dark that we could see, and then now we're looking at the eyes, where the distance of the eyes are, and then and the head. So we want to bring it this way. I'm gonna break all kinds of rules because that's how it goes. So to me, this is the indication here, and this here just swaps up everything. So we know that his nose is going to be here, and now we're going to map out his eyes real fast. So we're going from here to here real fast. So since this is reminds me of a character art, we can bring it out, and I'm doing the black part of it right away. And then you just follow the circle that you have created, and then you could come here, bring it out like this. Man, he kind of looks like the evil one. so so we come back here, we bring it we bring it up this way, bring it up that way. We want it similar. Okay. Okay. So curve, bring it down. If you notice this part here, this one here, it's gonna come down. It's gonna come down a little bit further. You can tell right here. Compare it. It's not the same. So this one here is a little bit more thicker. So it comes down further and down. So we'd like to make the peak here, bring it in, spread it down, and then you can. I don't have my Poppy do. So I usually got my gum eraser. I like to use my gum erasers. It's good to always have one. Mine's kind of old, so and then we'll worry about that stuff pretty soon. So we know that here in the middle it goes a little bit higher for this part here. So we're just mapping things out right now, and then how And see how this one brings out this way, just like that. Every artist makes a mistake some point and somehow during the procedures. Nobody's perfect. I'm not. Anyway. So, and now we're going to look at the oval. So the oval part here, we know it's going to be here. And we know we're going to bring it down this way. We're going to bring it down. We're going to swoop it in. Boom. And when you're doing this, just have fun. If you make a mistake, it doesn't look like this. Now, then that'll be fine. We don't want to be considered copycats. But this is for practice only. It makes you good. And plus, I like to use imaging like this that for airbrushing sometimes. But so now we're looking at the thickness of that line. Comes all the way down, and we want to swoop it in this way. It's kind of hard to follow when we got this going here like this, but that's okay because it's going to come together once it hits. Okay, so now we're going to leave this alone for a brief moment. Now what we're going to do is concentrate on this part. So now we're going to swoop it in. And so I'm going to make the body this way. So it's like a little bit cheating in a way, but it's not. It's called mapping out how everything goes. Even when you get his legs, like in this area. Okay, so we know how this is looking. It's just like a quick little skeleton for me. How I use my stuff. We know that it's almost like a little dynamic. So now we're going to make something out of all of this. You can see this side is shorter, and this side is a little bit longer to spread out more in between right here. And then this part here is called a shorthand. They both are shorthand, so we know that the hand's going to come out through here, and we're going to just like roughly sketch out like, oh, sorry, just quick fingers, because that's you gotta, how I start is just a quick structure of the fingers. If you haven't, see, like, if you haven't struggles with fingers, then the quickest way, how I learn, is just practice. The more you practice, the more easier it's gonna get for you. And we're gonna fix all of this. It might not look like anything right now. See, this is where the shorthand becomes shorter. you wanna, you see how it comes all the way up here? I mean, you could do that. We can make it look cool. So we pretty much mapped out the whole thing. It looked like scribbly lines. So now the real work begins. So we know that this here sucks in and everything else. So we're concentrating on everything now. How the design's gonna look and how we're gonna encounter this. So we're gonna encounter this probably about right here. So let's start up this big octagon here. Shape looking thing here. It looks like an octagon, and what happened is you could get a piece of paper. Of course, you want to make sure everything lines up correctly. So, see now we're looking at this part here. So we're going to put that over here, that we could get this done real fast. So we get this other line up in, and then we know that it's going to be 2 lines here, so boom. Let's get this other line, and boom. Oh, messed up. Well, and we know that's going to be here, here, and then from here we're going to go up here. Almost like Spider-Man. And then so you want to make, when you're doing this part, you actually you can always make a circle. Boom, boom. So what you're doing is you going like this, almost like a half. When you're making a U, you can make a U. That's a U, right? So you're making further less, almost like a U, and then the more you do it, and then what you could do is for this part here, you could actually shade and make it look like it's really 3D-ish. And then the further down you go, see, and then how you can follow that, and it keeps going. I mean, you can make it look like it's literally, you're just going like this. And you want to just get used to different shapes, get into ovals, stuff like that. So when you start seeing stuff like this, it's amazing how things look, and I still like it. I think it looks pretty cool still. And that part's done already. See, now you don't have to come back and mess around. And so now I'm looking for my shading. That's going to be here pretty soon. So during this process, we know that we already got something similar. Am I trying to make it look alike? Kind of, sort of. Not really. So we know for a fact that this part here is going to come down like this, because we've seen it. And then we know that this part here, you see the gap there, and we're gonna draw a line. We're gonna draw a line this way. There's a line there. Okay, so Just erase. There's a line here. A line here. And then we got another line here. So we got 1, 2, and 3. So pretty much what we did is we're making a point just like this. How like this looked, that's what we're doing on that neck. Might not look like much right now, but eventually we will start making it. So now we can make it. Bring it down. We could bring it down further. Boom. Right here. Because you just kind of turn. We want to start getting this in. Well, to see that curvature, we want to come in. And then just like a little hump there. For this part here. And then we know this part here is going to come in. So, see, I'm just following the shapes of it all. And I'm putting my own dynamic to it. I'm not just copying their stuff. I'm actually putting a little bit my twist to it. You know, because when you start doing your own twist for it, now we know. And now we could start filming this other stuff. So look at boom. Here comes the leg. And then boom. And sometimes I use that as like a reference. How I need that leg to look. Where I need to start turning it. And I know for a fact that this part here, we're going to make it look similar to this drawing. And see how I'm actually putting motion to it. And up on here, so, and then we can come back over here real fast. Add a little thing here. Boom. Come out this way. Make this. You see how the square is? So we want to make it out this way. Back in. And now see, I'm working down this way because I saw something that I could do that. Because now we notice that this part here, it's different. So, and then we could come in here like that. We're going to make it bigger. I want this a little bit bigger. So that's one thing about being an artist. You can make things bigger. Okay, you remember that arm? These fingers. So now we're going to bring it out. Boom. And then this part here. We're going to bring it out this way. Now we're going to make that finger look pretty cool. And then we're going to drop in these other fingers real fast. And you want to make them curve like this. And then you can put lines. Because It's Spider-Man. So the more lines you put in, even like right here, we know that we bring it in this way, bring it out, bring it in this way, and we know that's going to come in through here, almost like that. And then we bring it partial way, curve, sync, and then boom. See how I mapped all that stuff out previously? It was a reason why I was doing all of this. That you guys don't have to work as hard to make any of this happen. You can make this into a reality if you wanted to. I always want to do this because you want to, you know. And then this here just shows how, see how it lines up with the blue. All of it lines up. So, and now we can concentrate on this finger, because this finger doesn't look right. So we bring it out, boom, and we make it more round. Come in, curve. We want this to curve up this way. And then see, you got it. And then we got it right here, boom. And then start making your lines, however you want to make your lines. I go by the picture sometimes. Sometimes, not all the time. If I'm doing it for clients, yeah. And then you want to. But if it's just for YouTube channel, and you could put as many lines you want. You could do whatever you want. And I like to, when I'm doing these lines, it look like I'm going like this, and I'm actually going like this. What you're doing is you're making this hair rounder. But you would see that here in a few when I start adding more stuff to it. So we know that this is his bout, and this is his connection here that came down about here, and he's sucking it in. See, we already got almost all of this picture done. Now this is our making route where these lines are going to be. So we're doing these lines because boom, and boom, boom. So this line here is going to come down, bam, because I say so. Boom, boom, and boom. And we're done with that part. So we want to make sure that this part here is going to be blue, like tucked under. Oh, we've got these lines. Boom. So boom, boom. So, and that's what that's coming in. So there's no other lines. You want to make these ones a little bit bigger and more round. And we're going to have a lot. So we know that this here is going to be dark, but we're not going to fill that in. So that. And then for the spider, for this part here, that should be easy. Just go like this. Almost like make a circle kind of. Bring it up, bring it up, bring it. And see, once we get the fun part done, this is the fun part to me. nothing else is fun when you're designing and trying to create something like Spider-Man. And then boom, of course I'm gonna add a little bit of fun to your drawings and saying, dang, it kind of resembles this character. And now we're gonna work on the arm. We're gonna first orient it a little bit more better. We're gonna come down. I want it first orient a little bit more than what the picture shows me. So we're gonna bring it in about right here. Boom. So see how this shape is. So you got to know your atomic stuff for all of this. So here pretty soon now the fun begins. But I forgot to get a blue marker. Let's go for both of them. You see which one is better. I like trying out markers. I like trying out things. It's just because that's how I do things. So we pretty much got the basic of what we were looking for. Well, we could do it in a grip in different ways. I guess we only could do it one way. Usually I would have go over with my straight up marker, but this would work. Let me see if it works. Boom. Kind of sort of. So you can use either a marker like this, or you can use a brush marker. A dual action. We got these from the dollar store stuff. This here just for playing around, but this is my go-to. I like these ones because it gives light to dark. You could shade it in. You could tell the difference automatically. But I don't think. Let me see. Can I see? Maybe we might be able to use it. Well, and then we got the brush. So the brush is more advanced. So I like the brush. I like to use the brush in different ways. So let's go with the deep marker. And we know that this part here is going to be thicker than usual. And we're going to come down. And we're going to erase most of all of the stuff. So we picked the circle that we wanted for this. So we picked, like I said, that circle, how we wanted to put the groove in. And now we're gonna follow how we really are gonna set it in. And boom, see? And now we could play around with this. We could bring it in. We know that we're gonna make this black, so we're not worrying about it. We're gonna cut this a little bit more. I like to cut it earlier. I like to come out like this and cut it with this kind of marker. And we're gonna make it look tight, but now we can go here, just like this. Bring it in, bring it back out. Get this up. And, okay, so that was a brush marker. Now we can come back in with the flat marker, and covered everything in. Don't worry about the light spots because we got something for all of that. See, we're just playing around. The more we play around with it, the more it's soon we're gonna get better with it, you know. So then we can come back to the brush. Bam. We know it goes boom, boom, almost like that. Boom. Got one. See, I already messed up because I don't supposed to be there. How can we fix it? We really can't fix it. It's in there now. So, might as well just go with it now. So now we're going to bring it out this way, bring it in. I like doing the hands, getting the hands out of the way because we know that it's going to be fun when you're doing the hands. Can't go wrong. So we'll come in, bang it out real fast. So, one, two, three. So at this part, you guys don't need explanatory. If you got to this part already, and you did better than most, and you always want to make curves on everything you do. So we know we're coming in this way, almost like that. And then you remember our little spider. No. And then we can make that. That kind of looks real. I like that part. See, and then you could shade a little bit. So we know that, see, all of these lines that we had done earlier came right here. And then we know that we go boom, 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 and finish. And whatever we want, we can pretty much do. If we want to come down to the knees. Oh. See, I'm not trying to make it exactly like that, like the drawing that you see here. It's just an outline of what you could really do. I'm just trying to make something look cool. Okay. part. We can always shade that in with blue and make it look cool. So now we got this part here. We're gonna cut it a little bit more. Boom, boom, yeah, boom, 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 boom. And come in, boom, boom, and that's done. We got that part almost done. Now we know that this part here, we go boom, boom. We go in, we go in, and we pretty much did all of this fun stuff. So we're gonna start coloring it, but before we do, we could get a gummy eraser, you know, and then we could erase all of this lines that we had done. See, just like that, and then you have to fill it and everything else. But we're gonna make this look. We're gonna make it pop out. That I like making things pop out and looking cool. I mean, it looks similar to the drawing, to this, but we should have had a bigger head and stuff. But I didn't want to really copy it. Usually I would have, but usually I do better stuff when it comes down to doing this. It's just sometimes I believe it goes how. What I believe is you can change it up a little bit, and you can never make it your own, but you can change it up, see what happens, you know. So we changed it up. So we erased it as much as we can. I had to do real black lines that you guys could see. So now we're gonna get the colors and some shading stuff. I like to shade while in this process. So we're gonna get paper. All right, maybe, yeah. So now we're gonna get into the funnest part, shading. I need to use this, and we got this sometimes, you know. So this here is actually the fun part of the lesson. So we're looking at all the shading part, but we're gonna make it more funner. So it's like, you remember how I said we're gonna make this like 3D-ish, right? So when we're doing something like this, you wanna be able to use the least amount of stuff. So I know this here, it'd be darker, and then you're gonna like make a point how the shading comes out to right here and brings it in, because each foot you gotta have almost like that, to where you want to make it look like it's 3D-ish, you know. I think making it look 3D-ish, it's fun, you know, because then you're making it your own. You know, sometimes you could just go real light at certain parts, but like where it's supposed to be real dark, you could come with like a real dark gray and bring it. But, so that's it for with that. So we're gonna use this gray for almost everything now. So we're gonna be looking here, so we know that. And then see, you can make it as dark as you want or as light, and we know that certain parts of its mask is going to be gray and not, you know, you want to overtake it sometimes with the colors. You want to make it look like it's kind of popping out and making it 3D and whatnot. I think it would be cool. So I'm just picking and choosing where my sun's gonna be. But how I look at shading, okay, like this part here. Like we did this part here, right? So this part here of the shading is a little bit darker. It's gonna be a little bit more darker because if the sun is over here and how this is shaded in a way that it's cool wherever his sun was, because it got to do with light and stuff like that. But to me, I think shading is one of what makes the drawing, the detailing of it brings it out more. Because if I was just add color just to this, you say that I would just add color to all of this, right? And so the color would be like dull. It won't even look the way this year's gonna look once we're done with it. So I'm making right now. I know it doesn't make sense right now how this shading is going, but to me it's not really shading. It's more or less playing around with it, bringing in a little bit of shading to it. Yeah, I mean it's shading. It's just different kinds of shading. I don't know how you put it. It's detailing. It brings it out more. So because by the time you go back over the color and see how it looks, because once you start adding color to it, it darkens up the color, where it brings up the shading a little bit more. See, and whatever, like, see, you could tell the difference of the light and dark shadows of it. You know, that's what you're looking for when you do an art, especially like Spider-Man or Hulk or any of these um, comic characters you like. So a lot of them put the shading first. They do the detailing, and then after that, they do the shading, and then probably the coloring, like how I did, like I'm showing you. It's like a little secret of the trade of bringing it out, um, making it pop. So when you're making things pop, you want to make it pop. So the more you pop, make it pop, the better it's gonna be. Yeah. So, yep. Accidentally moved, and everything's coming down. So, so this is, and I was all self-taught. I didn't go to art school. None of them. I'm a natural when it comes down to painting and drawing. I never painted and until I met my wife, and she doesn't know how to paint, but I learned on my own. And when you could start going through different mediums, my favorite medium to do is airbrushing or chalk pastels. Chalk pastels, it's one of my favorites. It's Chalk pastels is pretty fun. It says when you're doing chalk pastels, you could do a lot of blending. I did a Lion King with my chalk pastels, so for my grandson. And now this here is probably going to be for one of my other grandsons. So see, now we got the full the base of him on there. So now what we need is we need more of what we were doing. Let's use this one. So we need, let's make this here, and then just you could just where all your shadowing is going to be. I'm using a little bit darker one because because how this is right here, it's going to be dark, especially in this area until you hit like this part here. You could go like this, just make it a little bit lighter, as light as you want or as dark as you want, but you want to get comfortable and playing around with shadowing, where all your shadows are going to be, where your sun's going to be, and stuff like that. But to me, I don't know, I don't do things on computers too much, but to me, I think this is fun, doing it all traditional. I'm more of a traditional type of guy. I'm not one for technology per se. You know, technology is alright to a certain extent. I use technology to get imaging when whatnot, get close, and especially when I'm doing tattoos. This is not the only medium I'm do. I do tattoos for a living too. So we, I gotta make sure that I'm on my game, uh, a lot. That's just a little bit, because once you start getting into tattooing, you're giving somebody an image for the rest of their life. So this is why I said, when you're playing around with all of this, you got to know exactly all your shading points and stuff. Because if you don't, man, me, I'm just partnering around. I'm just creating whatever how I feel it should look. I'm going by the picture to a certain extent, but if it's shading, I do my own shading. Sometimes I go by the picture, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I don't like the picture image, how it shows, so I change it up. It's our drawing, it's your drawing. You can make it however you want to make it. There's not a wrong way or a right way. But if you're doing somebody's tattoo, yeah, I want you to cope and say, hey, you know what? So we're making this part right here a little bit dark because that's how it is in the picture. And it's good to always go by what you are looking at and stuff like that. Go kind of light. So that's me playing around with all the dark stuff now, but that change. Sorry about that. My camera is getting out of focus. There we go. Hopefully that'll work. So now we're gonna start using the lighter one. So, and I like to swap, but because in this area you want to, don't forget this is like spandex stuff. If you ever been in a costume, you know what spandex feels like. So that's what this stuff is going to be. And we're almost done. Yeah. Cool. So I just like doing this real fast. So you know these hairs are going to be a little bit more. You want to get a little bit of shading in. That's almost everywhere. You know, because once you start putting color to it, it's going to make it pop. Okay, so I like to do is get all the blue out of the way because we know I forgot. Well, we can make it run through, so we're gonna make it. Oh man, I forgot to test out the color. So anytime you wanna make sure that's the correct one. The other one would have been too dark that I chose. Like this one would have been way too dark. That could have been probably for shading, which we don't need because you already went and did all of this. Once you start doing, oh shit, that was supposed to be red. I'm sorry. I'm talking too much. I'm getting excited because we're almost about to be done with this cool picture of Spider-Man. I think that's his name, Spider-Man or Spidey. I think it still looks cool. You know, and then you. Sometimes I like going like this sometimes. Because I wasn't trying to make it all one color. You want to have variety. Anytime you're doing colors, you always want to make sure that you got some kind of variety with these colors. Different tones, different stuff that you can use. You know, that's what art's about, having fun, releasing all that anger and that stress of hard work And then, so pretty much this is almost done. And then you can make it as dark as you want. You can come back and it's just play around with just the color itself, you know. I don't want to make it too dark. I don't want to make it too light. I don't want to keep playing with it. So we got all of this part done. So now he's 50% red. So I'll never forget that, how much red he is. And then sometimes I like just messing around with my drawings. See what would be more effective. How if you whip it, like how I'm whipping it now, would that be effective? Or, you know, or you could go and try to make everything choppy, and then once you start doing that, you can always come back and refine it and everything else. So I like playing with varieties. From once you start doing artwork, you want to start adapting yourself to markers. Start freehanding with markers, do characters. I did a lot of charactering, and I was reading a book on it, and on this book, it tells you how to do characters for a living. And then, but the part is, you got to know how to do your shading, and you got to know how to play around with people's faces. When I first started doing it, I was so nervous. The guy told me how nervous I was going to be, and it's like, what? No way. So I became more nervous when, over the years, I started getting better. I started getting better in my art and everything else. So, so when I start feeling more comfortable around people and everything else, then you can start making money by doing characters. And then I was a tattoo artist for over 30 years. Over 30 years. My cousin, he did it for 20 years. He owns his own shop. I need to own mine. I need to do tattooing for a very, very, very long time. And then I got into different mediums. The secret is you gotta play around with different mediums. Find out what medium you enjoy doing. Mine is airbrushing. I like to sketch on paper and pencil, markers. But like I said, when you start sketching with markers, even these markers, it's fun. You know, start uh, taking off the training wheels. That means it's only reason why I did it in this video, and there's gonna be other videos I'm gonna be doing too. So these other videos of me drawing, like how I'm doing now, it's gonna be interesting because I draw with pencil, but I like to draw in pen, markers, mostly markers, because in chalk pastels or even airbrushing stuff that it's very complicated, but it's really airbrushing not really complicated if you know your resources, understand your PCs, your how much air you got. So the funniest part is when it comes down to drawing is a lot of people say, yeah, you need to know your anatomy. Yeah, I know you got to know your anatomy. There's nothing wrong with knowing your anatomy. There's nothing wrong doing gestures. I love doing gesture work. I love making everything flow and having a purpose. But you start seeing the dullness of these of these artists. Um, they mostly do on computer. To me, computers are cheating. Computers cheat. I'm not saying all people that's on YouTube cheat because they're on a computer. It's just easier. Me, I can show my work any given time to anybody, and I know this will be my work. Like this one here, I know it's all chopped up and that's good quality as I expect it. But like I said, I don't usually go with anything. It's just it's kind of hard to explain. So usually we want to do something with these eyes. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it just gotta look like a mirror. That's what it looks like. That's what it reminds me of. So remember how I said, we gotta let the paper fly and dry. So you want to come back with the let me see, with this kind of pencil. It's a pretty good white. It's one of the best. I need it for a lot of things. So with this here, you could come back in, make like little highlights. And every time you see me going like that, because I'm used to chalk, my chalk pastels, and you could get away with a couple highlights. I do it for effects. See, you could tone down the marker as long as you go in pretty soft instead of all crazy. See, boom. So I'm pretty much done, y'all. So this is Spider-Man. The Spider-Man that can't be trained. So I hope you guys liked the Spider-Man that we had done today. We're gonna be doing other videos of other characters. So this is the Spider-Man that we had done today, and we don't have to make it look exactly like this. You don't have to make it look identical, as long as you can make it look pretty close to it. That's what matters. And then if you could look here, it looks pretty cool. I like it. It still looks pretty cool and tight how we did it. And hopefully you could take something from our lesson. But I got you something interesting underneath there. So, and once you are complete, you can come back and sign it and stuff, and then date it to mark up the date and that nobody else could copy it. So this is my version of Spider-Man. So you remember how this Spider-Man looks? So I want you to look at my other work, just to show you that I'm no. So I'm trying to get this into focus here for you. So this guy here is also Spider-Man. You can see how his fingers are, how it's more detailed compared to the cartoon one, and then how its foot is more curved. So this is comic version style, and then look at his other hand. This is actually everything I showed you, the anatomy part, making circles and stuff like that. That's how you get to this part. So hopefully this will be my next drawing that I have to do. Either my next one or my following one. I like this one. So, and here's my other one that we're going to do next. After that, can be this guy. And this guy, it's another Spider-Man. And we got it really into detailing. Here's his fingers. We're going to detail his fingers. So, I got 2 different Spider-Mans I had done. And then, dun, 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 dun. This is one of my favorite ones. It's called the Hulk, Incredible Hulk. And this one here took me a long time to draw. I went over the shading, the detailing. I know his hand is messed up. I'm gonna fix it when I start inking it out. I got his other hand here. It's all of it. It's in full detail of all of this. So when you're doing shoulders like this, in my other videos, I'm gonna go over the anatomy with you just a little bit, because all of these drawings were possible because I knew the anatomy, or pretended to sometimes. All depends. Like this is a muscle. I don't know the names. I just know how to draw them now because of all the videos I've seen that's out there that will show you. But this here is in full detailed how the foot, the whole body looks, and this is one of my proudest moments of making this. There, and you guys are gonna have the enjoyment with me to ink this stuff out. I'm gonna ink it out, and this one here will be for sale. Whoever wants to buy it, or we can make a plan. Whoever is the 3,000 subscriber will get this, and probably both of these Spider-Man after I'm done. And I might put this one on the shirt, but I don't know yet. But whoever is the 3,000 subscriber gets all 3 pictures. And look how much detail it is. So I hope you guys really like it and enjoy. This is my Spider-Man that we had done today. And stick around. You guys will learn more as we go along. And have a nice day.